What's up, guys? So we can agree that Marvel Rivals is a game of ebbs and flows, right? Well, more specifically, I mean, you're gonna have games where you feel like your team is invincible like the 2012 Heat, but on the flip side, you're also gonna have games where you feel like you're on a team full of professional crayon chewers who just picked up a controller yesterday.
Thank you!
Trust me, I get it all too well. Now when it comes to myself, I mostly post quick play games on the channel, mainly because none of us are being too serious, and I think the most fun content comes when you're just having a good time with the homies, you know? But in comp mode, it's an entirely different mindset because ranking up and down and competing in higher elos adds stakes. Now I'm not saying I always play perfectly, but I always do whatever I can to give my team the best chance to win. As much as I would love for everyone to think that way though, that's just never the case, especially in this game. Certain people who play this game don't care about you, the team, or just winning altogether.
Fuck me, right?
And I'm not sure why, but people with this mentality always seem to gravitate toward the same characters. So every time you see a teammate pick them, you can bet almost every dime in your pocket that they're about to put on the sell job of the century. So today, I'm going to point out who 3 of these characters are, and also explain why the worst types of players seem to always pick them. Now I'm not saying these characters suck and that you should never pick them at all, I'm just going off my own personal in-game experience, so like I always say, if it don't apply, just laugh and let it fly. But as always, if you made it this far, be sure to drop a like as it really helps out the channel, and also don't forget to subscribe and tap the notification bell so you never miss when I post a video. That's enough yapping.
Give me my damn theme music!
Number 3, Moon Knight. Okay, so as a player that has Moon Knight currently at Centurion level, it actually really hurts me to make this entry.
Gonna cry?
But as biased as I might be about him, it's no secret that Moon Knight is widely considered a throw pick from most ranked players. Now there's a lot of reasons for this, but I would say the biggest one is because the people who usually pick him are almost never willing to swap if they're having a bad game. So most Moon Knights in comp are more than okay with sinking the ship and doing nothing to help the squad because that's my favorite character, or whatever the hell. And it honestly makes my blood boil when a Moon Knight has a bad game because breaking news, you're playing one of the easiest characters.
Really? I couldn't tell!
Like even if you only have the slightest bit of aim, you can immediately impact the game due to how much chunk damage he puts out with his primary. And depending on how nice you are with him, he can also ruin other teams' positioning with his onks as well. So realistically speaking, there shouldn't be a game where you're playing Moon Knight and you're getting under 10 kills. If that's the case, then
You stink, loser.
no, I'm just playing. Keep trying, champ. But in the meantime, I got a few tips for your scrub ass, so listen up. Number 1 and most obvious, you gotta work on your aim. I'm not saying that you need to be Bob Lee Swagger or anything, but you should at least be able to hit an enemy who's pressing you up close and even targeting you from the air. One of the biggest flaws I notice about Moon Knight players is that a lot of them are way too dependent on those damn onks. A part of me gets it because the damage output from that ability is insane, and not to mention it completely takes out the work of having to actually point your crosshair at people. But it's far too many of y'all using it as a crutch to get you from fight to fight. I don't care how useful that ability is, you gotta learn to squabble on your own. Last thing I want to mention too is, don't forget to be situationally aware when you're fighting.
You do what?
To make it plain, Moon Knight, and really every other character in the game, works better for certain situations than others. For instance, if you're fighting a team who likes to constantly push as a group, Moon Knight would be a great pick because he thrives against grouped up opponents, especially due to his high damage potential with the onks and his primary which bounces off enemies when they're standing right next to each other. However, if you're playing a team who's running a dive meta, they might catch you way more often than you catch them. Reason being is usually divers like to attack from all different angles. So while you're camping your vantage point thinking no one sees you, 9 out of 10 times, there's probably a Wolverine or a Black Panther looking to chop you up like Wonder Bread. You can avoid this though if you're aware of who's on the field and you counter appropriately. Main point being, if you find yourself getting diffed, don't be too proud to swap to another character. If not, you're gonna end up on a whole lot of people's block list. So keep that in mind.
As soon as the Moon Knight decided that he was gonna throw, we lost the match.
Hey yo, what the fuck?
Next up at number 2, Wolverine. Okay, so some of you may be a little shocked at this pick, but when it comes to Wolverine players, they're either the most skilled sumbitch you ever seen with claws carrying the team to victory, or they're the worst, sorriest, most useless excuse for a DPS you ever seen in your life. There's no in between. That being said though, I give all Wolverine mains credit for at least being brave if nothing else. He doesn't have the hardest kit in the world or anything like that, but you do have to be up close and personal to people to be effective. And if you fail to make your hits count, the other team is definitely gonna jump your ass back to the spawn room.
Look like somebody beat the brakes off your motherfucking ass.
So first things first, before you bring Wolverine to comp, please learn to fight with him. For real, I've seen displays of brawling so bad from some Wolverine players that it's sickening. Like, you don't have to be anywhere close to an aim maestro to do damage with him, but I've legit seen people miss with his claws. The fuck you swinging at the air for? I just find it crazy. But at the end of the day, at least you're trying, right?
Wrong.
But you know the only thing worse than a Wolverine who sucks at fighting? A Wolverine who's not willing to fight at all. I swear, nothing makes me want to crash out more than when I see a Wolverine hiding behind walls and structures to avoid fights entirely. They may say they're just waiting for the right opportunity to strike, but in reality,
I smell a bitch!
I truly don't understand this either, because just look at the character you're playing. Whether it's the comics, the cartoons, or even the movies, Logan has never been one to duck a fade. Think about it. His biggest op is an Omega level mutant who can rip the metal from his fucking skeleton through his skin. And yet when he sees him, it's on sight. So if you don't have that kind of mentality, Wolverine may not be the character for you. Of course, I'm not telling you to jump out like an idiot to take on every fight you see, but at the end of the day, if you're not brawling, you falling.
Your boos mean nothing. I've seen what makes you cheer.
Also, keep in mind that when you play Wolverine, his damage is percentage based, meaning the bigger the health bar they have, the more damage you can do. So in basic terms, Wolverine is the best definition of a tank buster. So why the hell are you chasing around healers all game, huh?
I don't know.
Look, I'm not saying Wolverine can't give supports hell as well, cause he really can, but that's not really your job, bro. Wolverine is a complete monster against tanks, so when you see that Hulk or Doctor Strange causing problems for your team, you should be dragging their asses all up and down the map, no exceptions. More to all my yapping though is if you plan to pick Wolverine, especially main him, be ready to get active, cause if you don't, the only place you're going is a block list. Now last but definitely not least, number 1, Iron Fist. Now I'll admit that Iron Fist may not be as OP as he was in Season 0, but don't get it twisted, he's still quite the young dog when used correctly. But for some reason, whenever my team picks him in comp, they are determined to be the most brain dead, non-strategic, liability ass pick that I've ever seen in my life.
What the fuck is this piece of shit?
I don't know why, but Iron Fist players love throwing themselves out of position on the field, which usually leads to them getting jumped to oblivion. Like, I get that you're not going to win every fight you jump in, but constantly trying to take on 3 people with no backup is always a good recipe for failure.
Fight back, nigga! Fight back, nigga! Fight back! Fight back!
Now to be fair, it also takes a fair amount of bravery to play as Iron Fist as well, because the same as with Wolverine, you gotta get right up in people's faces if you want to do any real damage. The only difference though is that Iron Fist has way more tools at his disposal to get out of dodge. So I think the biggest problem plaguing Iron Fist players isn't lack of knowledge on his kit, but pure pride. What I notice in my games are Iron Fist players who see themselves in a bad situation where they clearly won't come out on top, and instead of doing the smart thing and getting out of there to fight another day, these fools will keep wildly throwing punches at everybody around just to try to kill something. Bad move, Carlito. Now they're just left there staring at the ceiling wondering where their heels at.
First of all, bitch.
It's sad, honestly. But if you plan the main Iron Fist, especially in comp mode, I got 2 tips that'll make you more effective on the field. Number 1, you gotta know when to jump in and jump out of fights. For example, if you see a whole squad posted at the point, please believe the only thing they're waiting on is your dumb ass to jump out so they can rearrange the furniture in your mouth. So the best course of action is to wait for your team before you initiate any fights. Remember, the best targets for Iron Fist are distracted targets like healers and tanks. Even the best supports are food if their team isn't protecting them. But if they are, throwing hands at the tanks first might be your best bet. Because Iron Fist puts out a shit ton of damage after his block, he can actually shred through most tanks really fast. You just gotta time your deflect move correctly. But like the good song says, know when to hold them, know when to fold them, and know when to walk away. Next tip I have is to make sure you prioritize your targets. It's too many times I see Iron Fist players aimlessly throw punches at everyone like they're Billy Badass instead of focusing on one target at a time.
Bitch, that's a mistake.
That's the easiest way to find yourself on your back. My main rule when I'm playing DPS is finish your breakfast. Even if you get walked, at least you might take one of those bastards with you, because if you try to get everyone at once, you'll end up getting nobody. It's basically the same rule as people pleasing. That's just how it works, my friend.
Fuck this shit! I came in this fucking room and everything went fucking bad. Fuck this shit.
Thanks for watching today, guys. Who's the one character you hate to see get picked on your comp team? Whoever it is, make sure you drop it in the comments. I know there's a bunch of characters I missed, so let me know if you want to see a part 2 to this video. I appreciate you guys all sticking around while I took a quick mini break too. I definitely needed it. But I got a bunch of new videos in the works as we speak, so to keep up, make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell, and turn your settings to all to get the fresh content right when I drop it. Oh, and while you're at it, be sure to drop a like on this video as it really helps out the channel. I've been Diz the Wiz, the coolest nerd you ever want to meet. I appreciate you guys coming through, and as always, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.